Alright, let's see how this one works. I see audio levels there. Let me double check over on this side. Hello, this is Dave. This is What's Up Dave. This is my daily-ish stream where I catch up with my friends on the internet about things that are going on with me, which is usually stuff about being stuck, trying to figure out how to be productive, how to, I don't know, just get stuff done. I'm for those who may be watching and not know what this is all about, I'm a graphic designer slash developer trying to design cool stuff and make a living at it. And so I think the reason why I do these streams every day is just a good practice to just try talking and just try to talk these things out. And it's also an extension of my virtual co-working chat room in which like a bunch of us just hang out and share what we're working on. You know, if you're a freelancer or if you work at home for some reason, it's a nice way for, at least for me, to feel some sort of connection with other people who are actually working rather than, you know, just letting the cat be a bad influence on me. Or vice versa, I suppose. So, it's Monday. It's already 7 p.m., 7:20 p.m. actually. And it's been a busy day already. Like this morning at 11, I had like an appointment with healthcare stuff. Then after that, it was like all server transition related stuff, doing some helping out a friend's company handle a server related issue in Rackspace, which is a server infrastructure company that's well known for their quote fanatical support. And I've never dealt with them before, so this is the first time I'm actually dealing with their sales and development team. And they actually were pretty good. I was like pretty impressed. Responsive, professional, timely. It has me thinking, like, oh, maybe I should look into Rackspace. You know, looking at some of their cloud services, like so for $50 a month, which is pretty comparable to what I'm paying now for my server. I mean, it might be something that's worth looking into. Who knows? Of course, I could get hosting much cheaper for about anywhere from like $10 to $20, $30 a month for a virtual private server, a VPS. But then I would have to manage everything myself, which is, I'm kind of over now. But we'll see how that goes. So, what's on deck for this week? This week is a second week of technically being on call for the educational software I've been developing for this other company who is doing work for this NSF grant, National Science Foundation grant on learning science for young children. So I was the architect for the software system, and Ben is the guy who's actually kind of building the activities that the kids use under the direction of the primary investigators who are the actual researchers who got this National Science Foundation grant. So far, nothing has really come in. I mean, I guess they're deep into the study right now. I have a chance to remote in and just kind of observe it, which I'm hoping to do later this week. But otherwise, other than the server transition, which is starting to happen, we're trying to do this really quickly for this friend's company. There's my own infrastructure stuff. And some of the things on my plate, the two main ones are one, Groundhog Day Resolutions Review Day, which is coming up tomorrow, October 10/10. It's review number 8 for the year. There's only 2 more on 11/11 and 12/12. And what these Groundhog Day Resolutions are my monthly review of how well I'm doing on my goals. And I've been kind of thinking about whether or not I've been doing this right. This is, I think, the 10th or 11th year that I've been doing Groundhog Day Resolutions. And while they've given me a lot of insights into the why and what of what I do, this year I'm not really feeling connected to them. I feel like I've been going through the motions of them this year, and I'm missing the point. So that's something I want to talk about a little bit later. The other thing I want to work on is some of my blog-related stuff. There's 3 things. One is blog-related stuff, so I can just get the blog off of WordPress into a new format, and that means developing some new software, some more new approaches. The second one is working on some new server infrastructure for this aforementioned educational software. So I'm looking at something called Electron, which is It's a desktop application making environment that uses web technologies. So for example, if you can make a website using Node.js and HTML, CSS, you can actually use this Electron thing to package it into a desktop app that you double click. And there's some well-known apps that use this Electron technology. Electron is it's from GitHub, the guys who make the source control repo that everybody uses for open source and other projects, for software projects. And so if you use the Slack client, like the chat client, Slack is written in Electron. If you use Discord, Discord is written using Electron. So Electron has some advantages over Node.js, just plain Node.js, in which I think what I can do is I can make a one-click, easily deployable installer that has a nice graphical user interface, and also still add on the server functionality that I need to be able to, like I have a classroom all connect to the same computer and then talk to each other. And so it just might be really cool. And then also it would unlock the ability for me to make desktop apps using web technology. And even though like for a long time I thought that web technology like JavaScript and CSS and HTML were kind of like toy languages and you would never really do anything real with it. You'd use like C++ or at least C# to do something like that, something which I never really learned. This is becoming increasingly viable. I mean, having used like the Visual Studio Code editor, which is I think another package that uses Electron, and Slack, these are perfectly adequate desktop environments, and they can leverage the huge Node infrastructure that's available for all these libraries that do things. And HTML browser or web browsers these days, they're quite capable, and they've been quite capable in terms of the capabilities they deliver in terms of graphics, sound, layout, that it may even be a preferred environment for just rapidly prototyping and deploying something ubiquitously across the world. So I'm kind of excited by that. But again, the thing that's really most on my mind today is to get my Groundhog Day Resolutions review out of the way. And I really am questioning whether or not I really know how to do this anymore. So let's take a look at my Quiver notebook, which has this in it. So let me switch screens over here. And let me open up Quiver, which is the desktop notebook that I use. So here's the Groundhog Day Resolutions folder. And I had copied the September 9 review into this review number 8 for October 10. And this is the last month's one, and I'm going to reread this. But I think one thing that's on my mind is, well, what the hell is a review? Let's make something. I'll make a new note. What the hell is a review anyway? And so let me just spend like, I don't know, at most 10 minutes talking this out, and then I'm going to move on to do something else. So what is a review? Why do a review? Well, when you have goals, it's very easy to make goals. It's also even easier to have wishes. I wish I was better looking. I wish I had lost weight. I wish I was richer. I wish I knew how to do these things. I wish I had, like a cat that didn't poop as much. Well, that maybe is a specific wish. But the idea that you want a better situation, or you want to acquire some skills or some resources that you don't currently have. Easy to make wishes. People are really good at that. Groundhog Day New Year's resolutions are often a bunch of wishes. The more interesting thing happens when you start assigning metrics to them, and so, so you ask yourself questions like, well, how do you know that you're doing that? You start listing specifics about that. So, so if I want to lose weight, then you want to choose a metric like I want to lose 50 pounds or something like that, because you can visualize, well, if I was 50 pounds lighter, then it'd be down by this many sizes, and I can wear this cooler, like the ignominy of trying on a pair of pants and having them not fit will be banished to my previous fatty past. And so you can imagine all these wonderful things that might happen if these wishes came true. But metrics in themselves aren't enough. What you need to have, what typically is recommended is people suggest that, well, you also need to deconstruct it into smaller steps. And then you had to have a process that will deliver these things, and you have to be on top of it, and you have to, and this is, I think, where we get into the review territory. Now, so I'm fine at making up all these things. I'm fine at doing all this stuff. The only problem is, and I think that everyone has this problem, or a lot of people do, is that it is so boring. It is so tedious, and it's not rewarding. And I am a creature designed for reward, as we all are. We want the reward. We want to feel the little spark of joy that happens when you do something that affirms you, like, yes, you're on the right track. You've lost a pound, or you look better. Someone made a compliment to you. These things are what drive us forward. And if you live by, if you have a goal that no one else is sharing in, you're not going to get that affirmation. You're going to have to generate it all yourself. And for me, if I had to generate my own affirmation, it doesn't feel real. It feels like I'm patting myself on the back. It feels like I'm giving myself a consolation prize. It's like if you don't get a Valentine's card for Valentine's Day and your mom gives you one. It's like that. That's not a real affirmation. You don't want that. That's terrible. Ugh. So the trick for me has been trying to get over this. And it may be just that, I don't need these affirmations. I've been trying to train myself not to require them. And I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it. So let's go. What the hell is the review anyway? Well, let's start with some of these wishes. And let me go and look and see what my wishes were. There were 2 directives I had last month. I think those are the wishes. Let me just scroll through this thing. Well, let's start with these. So the review was like, Directive 1 was revive my ability to share thoughts freely on a web platform. And then Directive 2, have the conviction to express who I am, what I like, and why. Let's rephrase those more viscerally. And just in a kind of a dumb I want way, I want a better website, or I want a website experience, or website that I like using to type my thoughts. I want a website that I'm starting to sound like a cake song. I want a website that I like to type my thoughts. I want a website that lets me express myself freely. I want a website that helps me think. I want a website that is technically sound. I want a website that is fast and secure. This is like a cake song. I want a website. This is the maybe the critical one. I want a website system that does not yet exist. It is up to me to either to build it. This is the conclusions I have. Directive 2 is I have the conviction to express who I am, what I like, and why. That's about confidence, I think. I mean, like, so this is more difficult to unpack. So when I say I want to have the conviction to express who I am, what I'm saying is that I'm not expressing who I am now. That means I'm not letting everything out. At least, so in my case, I wish I was more open in what I like, instead of kind of being conscious about how things appear. So like I'm very conscious about like how I'm saying things, or I tend to worry about how people will judge me. As much as I try not to be like this, I worry about how people will say, oh, like you like these kind of things. So like who the hell are you to think this? And like I know that this is not helpful. And I know that other people, like I should not listen to other people or ignore other people. I shouldn't care. But nevertheless, there is like this part of me that feels vulnerable to it, sensitive to it, and that does care. And I can't tell you why I do. I mean, like if I think about like why should I care? Am I under direct threat from them? Not really. So it's maybe more of an internal lack of confidence than like who I am and not being good enough, or not being welcome. So I think that's the key thing that I'm trying to overcome. let me type that out. So I think, so in terms of directive 2, I want to be free of the need of affirmation and be my own source of it. I want to project this positivity and power in a way that resonates with other people. You know, I want to be free to be me. You know, the perfectly fine anthemic statement. However, now we need to get into specifics. What does that mean? I like cute things. I like feminine things. I like seeing people empowered. I like spazzing out and being silly, you know. I like cats. I mean, these are things that, like, you know, as there are plenty of other characteristics I have. Like, you know, right now I'm projecting really more on my analytical side. You know, but that really is only part of me. The whole part of me is like, you know, I like all these other things. You know, this is why I've been experimenting with, like, do I like nail polish? You know, like, how do I feel about that? Well, I actually like it a lot, you know. And so why should I worry what other people think, you know? But I do worry about it. And so coming into some understanding about, you know, where do I fit on this, and having the conviction to do that. One aspect of it is I don't want to be afraid. But I also don't want to be a victim. And I think that's let me put this up here. This is the crux, I think, of the power. I want to be more empowered in myself, you know. So specifically, you know, I like these things. It shouldn't bother me, but it does, because I know that people will ridicule it. I know people will ridicule me for these things, or call me names. Grant me the strength to persevere. You know, I would feel much better if I could be that strong, but I don't know if I am. You know, so even just talking about it on this, where like as many as 3 people might see this video, it's, you know, it's a small step. So taking those steps, I think specifically, let's get into the step part of things. So specifics. Let me annotate these things. So 1, 2. So specifics. Let's just type in here specifics. Oops, 10 minutes is up. Let's wrap this up real quick. This is a matter of creating features every day that I can work with. And I can't predict how long it will take me to uncover everything I need to make this happen. However, I can allocate some time regularly to resolve and close some gap of knowledge / capability or technical capability that I have. So this is a long-term goal, and in this sense, I think review is maintaining a list of what got done on what date and a repository that organizes what got done into a systems overview of what is to come, with some target test dates in the future to push for. Furthermore, there is a mental pacing that I can maintain a minimum number of minutes per day to have paced development / innovation. And this is a thought I had earlier today, innovation. So like I just said, I'd wrap this up quick, but let me finish typing this. I could talk about paced innovation tomorrow, actually. So the second thing is about being free of the need for affirmation to be my own source, to be self-affirming. How do you become that, to be self-affirming? How does one become self-affirming? I think the only way of doing this, to become this self-affirming, is to set a self-expression goal. And just put it out there. And accept that what happens, happens, and is not a reflection on me. That's not entirely true, though. Self-expression, put it, accept what happens, happens. I think maybe just I don't know if you know what's going to happen. Then see where this goes. Then see how I react. Mark it as a experience point. Try this for a while and keep a log. So I guess I'm already doing this. What I'll do is I'll set a time limit on this. So today is October 9. Let's see how far we get in a month. So in November, actually I guess by the next November 11th, we'll review the list of self-expression challenges that I succeed at. That reminds me, there was a third challenge. This October challenge was I'd issued an October challenge like a while ago. I'd forgotten about that because of my weird schedule. What was my October challenge? Let me pull up a browser real quick and look at it, and then we'll wrap this up for today. That would be in my videos place, I think. And I said something about October. Define the challenge for October. Did I say what it was? No. Not. Damn it, I should have written it down. Maybe I did write it down in index. I think I was working in here. October 27 challenge. Intentful technical project selection. Yes. Okay, I need to refer to this. There's a way of referring to this note, I think. Copy note link. Let's go back to GHDR. And so we'll look at that. Then I'll review that later, because I'm going to start working on my Groundhog Day Resolution reviews tonight, and I will try the mental pacing thing and do... What time is it now? Maybe I'll do it while I'm at the gym. And we'll see where that goes. So that's today's What's Up, Dave. Kind of a chatty one, nothing exciting to show. There is a whole bunch of paper products I just had sent back from Amazon because they weren't selling well. It was going to cost me $1,000 to store these things over the Christmas holidays because the warehousing rates go up, and it was unlikely that I was going to move these products. So they haven't just been selling very well. These are the refills. So I got them back here so maybe I can figure out something to do with them or turn them into other products, or try the wholesale route with them and figure out some package with that. But tomorrow I'll look over that stuff. But tonight I'm going to work on some other things. And that is it for today. So thanks for watching. Hope you're having a good day. I will talk to you, see you tomorrow. If come hang out in the co-working chat room, I'll let you find that. and if you really are interested in just hanging out with a bunch of us. So talk to you later. Noink.